Hey guys, back in 2014, HTC released one of their greatest handsets of all time, the One M8. So today, let's take a look at how well its excellence has stood the test of time. The M8 was the successor to the very well-received M7 and was considered to be one of the best phones money could buy back in 2014. The device is built in a brushed unibody aluminum that looks and feels gorgeous even by today's standards, and it doesn't pick up hardly any fingerprints. Beating at its heart is Qualcomm's Snapdragon 801 SoC, backed up by 2GB of RAM, 32GB of storage, and all powered by a 2600 mAh battery. Port-wise, on the bottom we've got a micro USB port and a 3.5mm headphone jack. I still can't believe that's become such a rarity these days. Up top is the power button, and on the right we've got a volume rocker and a SIM tray, and the left has the micro SD tray. One thing I'd like to mention before we get started here, the device only officially supports up to Android 6.0 Marshmallow, but since this phone is so easy to root, I've installed a third-party Android 8.1 Oreo ROM. Don't worry though, nothing I talk about in this video will be exclusive to this ROM, so if you go out and buy a stock model from eBay, everything I say here will still apply. First, let's test out the CPU with Geekbench 4. And the results are in. 1045 for the single core and 2864 on the multi-core. That's right about what I'd expect for a Snapdragon 800, and it's right in line with the CPUs found in modern budget phones. Lighter games like Alto's Adventure here run butter smooth, and they look fantastic on the 1080p SLCD3 display. I've played around with a few cheaper modern phones like the Nokia 2, and for day-to-day tasks I can definitely confirm the HTC One M8 here is way faster, probably due in part to that 2GB of RAM. It's actually pretty snappy. Onto one of the biggest assets of this phone, its speakers that HTC called Boom Sound. They are incredible, easily matching the very best of today's modern flagships. Take a listen. The camera is a 4-megapixel sensor that works in conjunction with a dedicated depth sensor. Results from the main camera were pretty good, but the selfie camera left much to be desired. Is the One M8 going to slay the best of modern flagship phones? Well, no, as seen in this test here against my Xperia, but that's not the point. You can get one of these phones for about $60, and compared to a modern budget phone, it's a pretty compelling option. I mean, for $60, you get an LTE smartphone that can easily be rooted, with a great design, a fairly decent camera, fantastic speakers, expandable storage, a headphone jack, and a really nice 1080p display. I mean, come on, for $60, it's cheaper than most MP3 players. So if you're looking for a secondary phone or an MP3 player, consider the One M8. I doubt you'll regret it. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to leave me a comment letting me know what you thought. Don't forget to hit that like button and consider subscribing if you'd like to see what I make next. I'll see you guys next time.